All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. I want to thank everybody for last night showing up to the pre-show and the post-show of Game of Thrones series finale. I really appreciate it. I especially appreciate the few subs I got out of it. But now it's time to just kind of give a review of the show for the people who don't want to pick and sift through a live stream talking about the series finale. So this is Game of Thrones, Season 8, Episode 6, The Iron Throne. And full spoilers, we have not seen the episode yet. I don't know why they felt the need to hide the titles, because, I mean, nothing else mattered, so why should the titles? I picked this because Drogon picking Daenerys up and flying away from the things of man, or however you want to put it. Maybe he's taking her back to where Khal Drogo died. Maybe he's taking her to Old Volantis. We'll never know. And we'll never see the dragon again. And we won't know if Bran ever found out where Drogon went. We won't know if that was all a trick. Because we have just like Lost, a whole bunch more questions and rather than answers. And we got a R-rated fairy tale ending. It felt hollow. I know I'm not saying anything new. I felt nothing for the most part. This was a boring, lame, one of the laziest scripts I've ever had the displeasure to witness play out on screen. Anybody notice how little dialogue there was in this episode? It was all just people walking and looking at things, for the most part, I thought maybe I would like the shot of the dragon wings behind Dany, like showing how bad she really is. A very Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty look to it. But it was just like, whatever. Like, it don't mean nothing. That would have been cool like a season or two ago. The fact that she thinks her entire army can hear her up there was hilarious to me. The fact that they finally decided to give Peter Dinklage a moment to shine, like too late, if you ask me. I think Dinklage, though, deserved all the attention in this episode, even though he's in fucking chains for the most of it, and then felt like becoming Hand again was punishment. I mean, it was, fitting for this story, but Dinklage acted his ass off this season. He was trying so hard, and everything he gave was gold, just like the Lannisters. But it couldn't save the fact that they wrote his character into the ground and he became one of the stupidest characters on the show. But his moment with Jaime and Cersei, finding them buried in the ridiculous rubble that really didn't seem like, that big a deal. At the time, it looked like a big deal. I guess you could say the rocks kind of came down, crushed them, and came down with such a force that it killed them and brushed past them. I don't know. All I know is that it just looked really lame. But Dinklage's emotional feelings there, seeing his brother and sister dead, was really impactful. You'd think it wouldn't be, because fuck Cersei, right? But it just works because he's crying for the family he lost that didn't need to die like this. Maybe she needed to die, and she needed to die. Cersei needed to go, but just knowing that all of this could have been avoided. And it just feels like Tyrion is punching the rocks for the audience. It feels like characters are doing things like banging their heads against the wall practically over the disbelief that their characters are behaving this way. And like I said about the whole Daenerys death scene, I realize that Drogon's a really excellent, bodyguard, but that character shouldn't have been left alone. When have you ever seen her alone? And especially in this kind of situation. And I've said this before, why would the dragon care about the Iron Throne? Unless we're finding out that they're smarter than we all thought in the last fucking episode. So, I mean, even though I think Daenerys turning bad would have been a great storyline if this episode was at the end of season 10, after full 10 episode seasons, this would have been an earned ending, but it's not. And again, everybody's saying the same things, and I feel like maybe I'm beating a dead horse, but I got to get myself exercised of this and say the same things that I've said last night and listen to other people say, I guess. And that's, we were all ripped off. The characters are ripped off. The actors are ripped off. Everybody who was a part of this show that worked their ass off to make the show as good as it possibly could be deserves an apology from D&D. And as Gary at Nerdrotic says, we shouldn't say D&D. It should be DB&D. And that's absolutely fucking right. Because even though I don't play Dungeons and Dragons doesn't deserve to be put in the same category as D&D. Because like I said, this was one of the worst scripts I've ever seen. I mean, I thought Dexter's series finale was bad. I thought the last 10 minutes of Lost was really bad. And if you disagree with the last 10 minutes, or maybe you disliked Lost sooner, I don't know. But either way, this to me, like, I've made peace with the Lost finale, but I haven't had time to make peace with this. This is just the worst feeling. Like, I bought the shirts, I got the posters, I got the Funkos, I've got the DVDs, I've got digital editions, I've got all the books, I've got fucking, I got the calendar. I got the freaking calendar over here. My queen. Arya goes off to, again, another person going off away from the things of man. That doesn't make sense. But they threw a line in there from a long time ago that, she wanted to know what's west of Westeros. Woo! Sansa didn't die. Fine, she didn't die, but, she did get to put on her pretty dresses again, didn't she? And again, I shouldn't say it like it's the character's fault. I did think that Robin Arryn being there was hilarious, and if that was Jojen Reed's dad, Harlan Reed, that is amazing. Also, it was also amazing to see the guy from River Run, that I can't, Tully, whatever his name is, him there. He's also on that show Outlander on Starz. He's there all of a sudden, we're just rolling out a bunch of characters. Again, fan service. The guy from Dorne's there. Fuck Dorne, who cares? But Yara making sure everybody knows that she was only there for Dany. Which is fine. Whatever, I don't... And poor Tyrion, dragged out there to have to tell these bunch of idiots how to rule. How to pick a king. You got the guy in chains. He's the guy, he's in there for a reason, or at least they put him there for a reason, and they want him to fucking help him out. I'd be like, fuck you. And same thing with Jon. Jon tattled on himself. The dragon fucking flew away and torched the Iron Throne before he left. All he'd have to say is, I don't know what happened. Daenerys, it thought Daenerys was in trouble. It torched the Iron Throne and flew away. He's so... Jon Snow, I can't believe, literally knows nothing. Except that he should have just stayed north. And I am just so disappointed that there was nothing for Arya to do in this. Nothing for her to do. And Bran, the whole questions with Bran and what that little smirk was at the end. And I love the smirk. I like smirking. That's part of my freaking channel's name. But if you're not going to tell us what Bran was really up to, because I know there's something else there. And again, it just feels like they're trolling us the whole way. And if they were going to do this, at least give us, her seeing Khal Drogo or something, some sort of fucking weird fantasy shit, instead of just she was never there. And Grey Worm, who left Grey Worm in charge? I mean, as soon as she was done, who didn't? Why didn't they just? I know that he's not a bad guy, but he is her right-hand fucking man, general of her armies. Why is he still walking around with Tyrion? Why is he in charge? I don't understand that. I mean, the list of things that don't make sense, again, are just too many to count. Everybody laughing at the idea of democracy was funny. And I guess if there is that water bottle now that like makes you want to look at all the episodes and call this out, because I mean, it can't just be now. And if it is just now where people are just leaving coffee cups and water bottles out, I mean, it really shows that just there was nobody like in control of this that could rein it in. Who could rein it in? But nobody did. Nobody stopped any of this from happening. The power plays and the power struggles or whatever's going on. It sounds like there was a fucking Game of Thrones going on behind the scenes of this show. And I want to know who's going to blink first. Who's going to be the first one to spill the beans, to really fucking let it all out. Not the guy who played Barristan Selmy, because come on, he's just pissed off because he got killed off in the show. And you know what? He's rightfully pissed off because Barristan Selmy, as far as I remember, is still alive in the books. But you know, at least he's openly hostile about it. And it's time for some of the other people to finally be able to open up about what happened here. Like the table reads. Can you imagine the table reads for this? But I don't want to get completely off topic, but this is just not how you do a series finale. This is basic, man. Can you, like, I can't believe I'm using the word basic to describe a series finale of Game of Thrones. Basic, bland, predictable. I don't even know if you can really call anything that happened in this subverted expectations, because the whole episode is just one big subverted expectation. Tormund, did he even have a line at the end of this episode? I mean, I'm fine with Jon going out to live with the wildlings and hanging out with Ghost again, which, yeah, he petted him, but come on. I mean, I'm serious about this. The thing of all the things to get hung up on, petting your dog. I mean, I love dogs too, but I'd be even more pissed if I was one of the people that got mad because he didn't pet the dog and he pets him now. Like, because they knew this whole time that scene was going to happen, and so they're just, I don't know. It's all just too little, too late for things like that for me. And the council looked like a Saturday Night Live sketch of characters that you put together in a room that would never probably be together in a room. Let's see what happens when Samwell Tarly meets Bronn. And the whole thing with Bran, again, picking him, like being happy about being the king all of a sudden, like talking like Bran, sounding like Bran, or at least sounding like somebody who's happy to be alive. Why did you think I came down here? So he expected to be named king. He knew that this was going to happen, right? So it just plays that there's something else at work here that we're never going to know. And that just really pisses me off. And then they're supposed to be in charge of Star Wars, something that's already in trouble, something that doesn't need more of it. What else can we talk about here? Yeah, Brienne writing that nice stuff about Jaime in there, like I guess would prove just that maybe because Jaime's arc was destroyed doesn't mean that Brienne has to change. So I guess in a way Brienne never changed for the most part, except being stupid enough to sleep with a fuckboy like Jaime. But that can be whisked away because she thought that he loved her enough. And then he bailed. And at least she's not pregnant. And at least Arya's not pregnant. I mean, I'm fine with Arya leaving in the end. I really am. It makes no sense, but I'm fine with it because to me it does. And I'm, again, still hopeful. Still holding on to some hope And maybe, hey, let's just do a Maisie Williams Aria Adventures in Westeros, or Adventures in whatever the fucking planet's called. Planetos? Somebody joked about, or was that serious? So, all in all, again, just really, really disappointing. Really, really, really sad that it's come to this. Feel bad for all the actors who put so much work and heart and soul into this project. Like actors who played Littlefinger and Varys, and everybody just got tossed aside because they didn't know what to do with them anymore. Threads that just never got pulled, storylines that never got finished, arcs that went nowhere. And I mean, that's all there is to really say about this review. Is just I'm more upset that I watched it. I'm more upset now that I have the information. Ignorance is bliss sometimes. And I almost wish I never watched it. I almost wish that I could forget everything about Game of Thrones as a TV series and just have the books. I really, really do wish that. But what are you going to do? It's time. Eventually we'll move on and we'll find something else to be pissed off about. But in the meantime, if you liked this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe. Tell me all what you want to hear, say. Otherwise, like I said, there will be the live stream. But share, subscribe, all that stuff. We are growing little by little. And I've kind of put myself on a clock as far as getting a laptop to record stuff on. So if I don't have a laptop going in about a month, I'm going to be very mad at myself. So that's just a little update for the channel. But anyway, Game of Thrones series finale. A decade's worth of waiting and 4 or 5, really to me, 5, 6 good years, 6 solid years, 1 iffy year, and 1 complete disaster. Peter Dinklage deserves better than this. Everybody deserves better than this. And yeah. So anyway, this is Rob at Smirking Gun Reviews saying, now my watch is ended. Valar Morghulis, everybody, and we will see you later.